Somebody call Rebecca Black and tell her it's not Friday. But if you're Prusa, it might as well be. It's been almost 3 years or longer in the making. The Prusa XL is announced. Let's take a look at it. I am so freaking amped. Oh, let's do this. We're gonna start with the video. And for those that are here thinking that I have a Prusa XL, no. But with your support, a subscription, and a like, we might be able to get our channel to a point where we would be included in the reviewers that get these things just a little bit early. But full disclosure, I have put a pre-order on an XL, and we're going to talk about why at the end of the video. Let's take a look at this video, which, by the way, came out 2 days ago. I'm recording this on the 20th of November. It's going to come out the 22nd of November. But this printer was announced November 18th. Let's watch this video. First off, Mikolas. Huh! Huh! The editing. Woo! LEDs. Cycloidal extruder. Prusa. Visual appearance subject to change prior to release. Of course. That makes sense. Big ass print volume. XL. CoreXY, we were expecting this. We knew this was coming. 36 centimeter cube build volume. And you get a little idea of what it looks like. Big stuff all the time. Fully automatic first layer calibration. This thing is amazing what they're doing here. They're using an analog load sensor, check this out, to detect right when it hits it. So you don't need to ever adjust live Z's. No manual calibration, no BS. The modular print bed. This is really, really cool. We're going to go through their blog article too, and I've already read all of the stuff like 19,000 times. But I'm really excited for this because, like, the modular bed solves a really dumb problem in this industry. We're going to go with more affordable beds, but it even happens on the Prusa beds. When you have a big bed and you heat it up, it warps, okay? So what they've done is they've cut it up into 4x4, 16 total sections, putting this at, what, 60 millimeters square each piece, which, yes, makes it cheaper to produce, makes it modular, right? That's a big freaking deal too. And it allows for multi-zone heating. Let's freaking go. 16 zones, independent heating. God, I'm amped. Expansion joints. I love this to prevent that warping issue. And they show this, right? This one-piece bed has the tendency to move. Of course, the magnetic steel sheets like we're used to seeing. So good. The Nextruder cycloidal gearbox, 20-to-1 reduction, and a big ass gear system. All right, let me go through this real quick. We're doing a 20-to-1 reduction on the cycloidal portion. Okay, so that already is increasing your torque like crazy. Then you're coming to a big gear. So before they used Bondtech gears. We'll put a picture of some Bondtech gears up next to me. But they are effectively gears within a big divot cut in them that's then got teeth cut into it. Okay, it's a little more complicated than that, but bear with me. The issue with Bondtech style gears is that they grip the filament so well that it can also kind of damage it over time. Is that necessarily an issue? No, not really. The average user's not going to really see any issues with that. But here's the deal, right? If you thought this is going to compete with a $200 Ender 3, you're wrong. The starting price for these printers is $2,000 US, with the fully kitted out version as of recording being $3,500 US. So a big difference in price from a $280 Ender 3 V2. These are not in the same category. I was just mentioning this, right? There's your difference, guys. You can see the Bondtech gear with its big cutout for the filament and this big Nextruder system. Now, I'm seeing ABEX 7. And if that is what I believe it is, that's a skateboard bearing. So that's a 608 skateboard bearing. This thing is quite large. That's good. That means you're going to get some good torque out of it, and you're not going to deal with some of the issues of these Bondtech gears. One of them being its bearing system is kind of not great. 608s, great in my book, and I've got full ceramic ones back from the fidget spinner days. You remember those, don't you? I know you don't want to, but it's fine. I understand. This is another big thing, okay? The nozzle jam detection with load cell sensor.
You just got jammed.
How many of you have had a failed print because of a jam? I've had a few just recently. Make sure you get subscribed because they're going to be in this upcoming Print Fail Friday, where it's all my fails, I guess. Yeah, I should probably just do one all on my fails. That'd be fun. Maybe one or two of yours, but let's talk about some of the fails that we have here in the business. It'd be kind of cool to talk about it. Jam detection with the load cell, and what we're hearing, word on the street at least, is that they can potentially detect jams before they occur by watching how much that pressure goes up. If your pressure all of a sudden starts to spike, boom, it can stop. And if you have the tool changer variant of this printer, it can just, theoretically, I hope that it can, just go to a different tool head and keep on printing. For a small business, that is pivotal. We are getting up to the impetus of 3D printing where it needs to be. The Ron Popeil said it, and
You got it, guys.
this gets us there. Seriously. All right, we just saw something. We got some stuff here to take a look at. Let's back this up real quick. We've got a circular style heater similar to the E3D Revo. It was built in conjunction with E3D. We'll card to the E3D series. We got a bunch of videos with E3D going on right now. There's a lot going on here, but this is not a Revo. Stop it. It's not a Revo. What this is a fully custom-made in-house hot end solution that was done in conjunction with E3D. Now, I don't know if E3D is going to continue to produce it, but Prusa is working on vertically integrating. This is not an uncommon expectation. Check this out. We got this long bimetal tube. We got some copper and what looks like some steel, but they pulled out something and they're putting potentially in one of these, which is different. What I'm also noticing is these appear to be V6 compatible nozzles. That's good because that means any new nozzle that comes out from E3D might fit. Now, we don't have confirmation on this yet, but those are clearly E3D V6 nozzles or some variant of the like. So if it would be V6 nozzle compatible, that would be amazing for a Nozzle X, a Obsidian nozzle, or any of the other awesome products that E3D makes. They don't pay me to say that. They should. Is what it is. I like this system where it is very much a plug and play. We're looking at, you know, the thermistor can plug in. The heater appears to probably go all the way back into the filament chain. That's the one bummer about tool changers. They got these real long whips of cables that there's really not much you can do about. But I do like these boards where it is effectively take it off, put another one on, and you're good to go. Similar to a Wham Bam Mutant. We'll card to that video so you guys can take a look at that. That's a manual tool changer, kind of designed for people that don't want to drop, well, it's not even 2 G's, at least $2.5 grand on a Prusa XL. I just love that look. Here's another big one, guys. All right, additional thermistor and heat break with heat creep detection for added safety. Heat creep is a big problem. Now, not so much in Prusas, but it is nice to have. Some materials will like a hotter heat break, whereas others will prefer cold. PLA wants as icy cold as it can get, but ABS, it doesn't really care. ASA doesn't care. Nylon, it actually prefers a little bit warmer. than PLA. And with that added thermistor, you can vary all of these temperature ratings. This is great when you look at customization and really getting fine-tuned profiles, something that Prusa is known for, right? Remember, Prusa profiles are not designed to be fast, they're designed to work. And that's what they do. They work. I am a Prusa fanboy. I guess we should cover this. If this wasn't immediately clear, you should go look at the rest of my Prusa series. I love Prusas, just like I love this segue to our sponsor, 3D Musketeers. 3D Musketeers uses a wide variety of 3D printers, CAD design, rapid prototyping, CNC milling, and laser cutting to get your ideas out of your head and into your hands. That's kind of what we do here. We make awesome. And we understand that not everybody can afford a Prusa XL. We understand that people have issues with first layer calibrations, thermistors, thermal runaway, and all the other things that can make 3D printing, well, a little more difficult than plug and play. Well, we here at 3D Musketeers believe that the experts, me, and quite a few of the rest of our team, can take over that work for you and make it so much easier to where we can remove those headaches and work to making you some money or some really awesome parts. If you want to find out more about 3D Musketeers, we'll have links for you in the description where you can take a look. We're still working on the website, so give me a little bit of patience there, it's taking some time. But our entire invention page is open, which does include a mutual non-disclosure agreement. So if you want to talk to us about anything private, you could do so by signing that agreement, and you know, these lips are sealed. Which is funny, because I do talk a lot. Anyways, let's get back to this video. Powerful cooling fans, RPM monitoring, we've had that. Easy maintenance connector breakout board. This is awesome now. Somebody pointed this out, and I gotta point it out too. We've got some bodge wires in here, and that's okay. This thing is still in, like, reasonable beta, if you are even alpha. I mean, it does work, so it's more of a beta. So they are still getting it right. Now they're doing a lot of the PCB manufacturing in-house. Prusa's brought in pick-and-place machines and PCB milling machines so that they're able to produce all this stuff in-house. One thing to note, this is a direct drive. You do see a Bowden connector because it is a reverse Bowden system. If you guys want to see a video about that, let us know down in the comments. And hey, while you're down there, don't forget to leave a like as well. We would love your support, and if you believe that we've earned it, hit that subscribe button. But I do want to know your thoughts on the XL. Let's keep working on this video, though. 32-bit, quick swappable electronics, color LCD. These are... The quick swap is new. That's not common, like that doesn't exist on the Mini, but the full color LCD, the 32-bit controller, that's the Mini, right? The Mini was the first test of that. We do see that we're using USB instead of SD, and normally Prusas will use SD cards, okay? Your standard run-of-the-mill SD cards, but they also have a USB-B port, normally with printer cables. It's funny that a 3D printer has the same one as a 2D printer, but if you want to control it with something like Octoprint, you'd have to plug into that USB-B. And then otherwise you could print right off the SD card. I kind of like having the actual USB thumb drives, but I do hope that we look at something smaller so people don't break them off easier, because I presume that will be a problem. But thumb drives are nicer. Flash drives, they're nice because they're a little bit easier. They have less failure rates, and those of you that have used your printers a lot have likely encountered a print where your SD card failed. USB has a lot lower chance of that occurring. This is all common, similar on the Mini. Prusa Connect network connectivity. I know a few people in the closed beta for the Prusa Connect, and I can tell you it is pretty damn sweet. It looks just like this. It communicates with you. It's similar to Octoprint, but made specifically for Prusas, and it gives you a lot finer control. I am kind of bummed that we're not going to see things like the cancel objects side of it, where that's an add-on or an octolapse, but I have a feeling those will be coming soon as the API is released. But you see we have printer overview, the queue, the projects, control, temperatures, command, logs, filament, and settings. Lots of options inside of Prusa Connect, so you will be able to use it similar to running a Raspberry Pi on the system. Linear rails. Gotta be. Side-mounted spool holders with filament sensors. Now, I also want to point out, as a chonky boy, that I believe is a 3 kilo spool or a 2.2 kilo spool. And this is nice because they're using the same ends and all they're doing is just adding more of a cardboard tube in between it. Can recommend. I do like that quite a bit. I would like to see, and maybe they'll have it, integrated load cells so that if you input the weight of your filament spool, it can detect how much filament is left on the reel to let you know, hey, we got this, you're going to be fine, or how about no, we're going to have a problem. I like that feature. If that can be added, I'd love to see it. But if not, it is nice to see the filament on the side of the printers. But the one thing we don't know yet is the physical dimensions of this printer. We know the build volume, 14 inches cubed or 36 centimeters cubed, but we don't know the physical dimensions. And for somebody like me, where my shelves are 6 feet long, or what, a little bit under 2 meters, I guess, and 2 feet wide, or 2 feet deep, I guess, if this printer takes up more than 24 inches square, I might have a bit of a problem. But there are always ways around it if you're willing to improvise, adapt, and overcome. Power loss recovery, of course. Smart RGB, hell yeah, RGB all the things. Love to see the fine-tuned Prusa printer's profile, international warranty, and 24/7 support. One of the big reasons to buy Prusas. Love to see the draft shields that they're doing. I mean, there you go, guys. Shipping Q2 to Q3 of 2022. I'm going to really push that toward the end of Q3 2022. No offense to Prusa, but they do have a tendency for their own, how do I say this, popularity becomes a problem. When everybody wants the thing you're making, you might have a bit of a delay, but we'll see. I'm excited for this thing nonetheless. Also, Mikolas, great thing so far. One more thing. Tool changer, tool changer, tool changer. Yeah. Oh, so good. Extremely precise mechanical tool changing. Look at that. Hold on, I did not see this earlier. It's some sort of slide lock system, but I didn't notice the pin mechanism earlier. I've watched this video like 6 times. Let's go back and look at this pin mechanism. It goes on and then it slides over, so it must be able to slot in, and then as it slides over, it locks it in. Okay, so this is some spring steel. Ignore that. It is weird that some of these are blacked out, but I guess it has something to do with the machine and what they're doing with it. Oh, so cool. No more tedious calibration prints. Any of you that own a tool changer, an IDEX printer, or anything with more than one damn tool head, this is the bane of your existence. One, this is awesome to see how it's going to look as a tool changer inside of Prusa Slicer, but 2, if you can make the calibration prints for the tool changer just freaking automated, hell yes. Joe Senpai, sign my ass up. I already did. I signed my ass up as soon as I could. That $200 deposit, she's gone. Let's bring in some of that YouTube money. Or that YouTuber clout so we can maybe get one ahead of time. Fully automatic tool alignment. Ugh. It's literally using a... let's go back here real quick. This is something out of the CNC market. They're using a touch probe. Okay, so they're going to have some sort of a touch probe where it's going to find out the left side. It's going to find the center as well. So that's going to find its exact offset every single time. This is crazy, crazy, crazy valuable. I mean, there you guys go. That's exactly what you're looking at. It is finding where it's located. So now you're able to do multiple colors and multiple materials and those nice water-soluble supports that everybody likes. Gotta love it. And it's a refundable deposit. Come on. So freaking excited for this. Like, so freaking excited. All right, we're gonna move over to the press release now. Press release time. All right, so you guys saw the video. I'm like McDonald's, man. I'm loving it. I really, really like this printer. And with a little bit over 14 inches cubed build volume, or 36 centimeters cubed, there's a lot to play with here. And you're not just getting one little iteration, right? From the MK3 to the MK3S, there's a little bit of magic from the MK3S to the MK3S Plus. It became a terrible naming scheme that everybody hated, and a little bit of extra magic. Sorry, that naming scheme is terrible. I'm sorry. But we got that next generation extruder, the new hot end, segmented bed, and a tool changer. And that doesn't even scratch the surface of what we're doing, right? Now, here's the deal. Again, shipping is scheduled to begin in Q2, Q3. We gotta have a talk about supply chain because that can really bog things down. This is a fully refundable pre-order. All you're really doing is saving your seat in line for $200. And when your number is called, you can absolutely change your entire order. And it says that, you know, when you go through the actual thing here, it will be charged before they send it, and you'll be able to make any changes that you'd like. Of course, all of that same stuff that we're going to see in the blog post is listed right here as well. But I like the blog post. It's pretty cool. We saw the video. Let's take a look more as to what we're dealing with. And I have to agree here that building a larger MK3 would have no additional benefits. Bed slingers are really limited. When you look at something like a CR10 size build volume, about a 300 by 300 by 400, that's too big. It's too big for a bed slinger. Unless you enclose that, you're not going to be able to print things like ABS, polycarbonate, and even some big PETG prints are going to have problems with warping, simply because the convection, as it's moving back and forth, is going to cause those warps. And that sucks. With CoreXY build systems, the head moves X and Y, okay? So it moves just like an Etch-a-Sketch, and then the bed just comes down from the top. And they're quite pretty to watch print, and I'm really excited to be able to do some time lapses with this thing, hopefully coming soon. That should be a fair bit. Now, I can't say that I'm not a little bit bummed. Joe, for a while, teased this thing would be 40 centimeters cubed and not 36. So we are losing a little bit of space, but it's not a ton. It equates to the better part of 1 3/4 inches. And that does suck, but could be worse. I'd rather them give us something that's a little bit smaller, but has a better form factor when you're looking at where you can place this, right? Because a lot of us have the same concern. How big is the gosh darn printer? And we don't know any of this stuff yet. This isn't out there. And look, I'm gonna put this out there right now. They're aiming for print quality. They're not looking to join the speedboat race. Hi, Voron community. We need to have a bit of a talk here. I know you guys are saying that you have built these for years for less. I respectfully disagree. There's more to a Prusa than just the motion system. And yes, your Voron 2.4, your Voron V0 dot whatever number you're on now, will be faster. Straight up will be faster. I don't care. I want the support, the reliability, the pre-tuned slicer, and a tool changer. And none of that is offered through the Voron community yet. We'll see. You guys have like 8 months to figure it out. I'd love to see an actual competitor from the Voron community, and that actually might push me over the edge and have me build one. So if you guys are listening, let's get that happening. And of course, the Voron community is going to be crazy happy about this. They are considering an unsupported but official Clipper firmware, which is awesome. Because remember, these printers are theoretically open source. We don't know yet if this one's going to be fully open source. I would guess that it is, but it's not private that Prusa is looking to push into the professional market. They just bought a big company in the Czech Republic that does professional 3D printers that you're looking at for businesses like 3D Musketeers and larger. So seeing some sort of like a Prusa Pro would be a really cool name line coming out, that'd be pretty awesome. But understand, this is still more on the prosumer and I would say professional level. This thing is very much skirting that line. Of course, all the proven features from previous printers like the power, panic, and filament sensors, which I do like. Every now and then those filament sensors do save my butt. I will say, last night, the time-lapse Prusa ground through filament and it broke. And when the filament broke, it didn't realize that it wasn't pushing filament anymore. And with this new Nextruder system where it's able to detect jams, it would have known that it was jammed before it stopped. Now, it's my fault. I'm running old PLA on it. There's a reason. There's a color that I wanted to use. No one makes it anymore. I've got an old spool. Yada, yada. But the Nextruder would have solved those problems. There are also going to be practical add-ons, like a telescopic filament spool holder on the side of the printer, which can hold up to 2 to 3 kilo spools. Happy about that. And there will also be optional add-ons like the draft shield that we saw was that accordion style draft shield. And I do like that, but I might be more interested in that full enclosure. I like the accordion, but I want to be able to see my prints. I kind of like that. And I recognize that now with this new Nextruder system, you shouldn't need to watch that first layer, but I'm a glutton for punishment, and I'm going to do it. The segmented heat bed is also an awesome feature. Not only does it enable you to have smaller print beds in the 60 millimeter square range, it enables you to easily change them if you have issues. Say your spring steel sheet grinds through an area and you get a bit of a short. You only got to replace one of the 60 by 60 areas rather than the whole darn thing. That's absolutely going to save time and money, but it's also going to keep the bed from warping as bad. You've got your expansion joints. I've been saying 6 centimeters, and hopefully our editor caught it, but it's actually 9 centimeters, so it's 90 by 90 by 90. Again, same deal though, it's just a little bit bigger. I like that they'll be individually controlled because not only will you be able to say, well, I just want to print down in this corner, just heat up this segment. And I think that's going to be the case. They might enable you to do the middle 4, but if you got small prints, you can do them on the corners. But you can also reduce individual warping across the entire build plate by understanding how they shift as they heat and cool. And instead of heating the entire bed up at once when it's printing, you can heat everything in alternating patterns so that 1, you reduce electrical load, but 2, you also reduce stress on the part itself. It's pretty damn smart, and they talk about it right here. We can do all sorts of things with the segmented heat bed, like alternating heating of individual segments in a checkerboard pattern via PWM, which reduces the load on the power supply. Now, Joel Telling, lucky son of a gun, happened to be at Formnext when this thing was released this past Thursday, and he actually got hands-on with it and got to touch it, which is pretty darn cool, and he got to talk to the man, the myth, the legend himself, Joseph Prusa. Card to Joel's video so you guys can go take a look at it, course, when you're done with this one. But there's a bit of a segment there. We'll put a picture of it up next to me or up on the screen for you of where you can see that there are 3 power supplies on the back of the printer. Those appear to be the exact same power supplies used on the Mark III's Plus. Now, I don't know if that is done to just reutilize the same components that they have, and if we're going to see more of a singular power supply system, or if it only needs 2 and we have a single redundancy, or if it actually needs all 3. I'll be curious to see how they handle that because, of course, these printers are configurable by quite a few things. You could do 1, 2, 3, or 5 print heads. You know your boy went with the 5 because if you're going to do it, lay down the money. And the cool thing is that these segmented heat beds were not just developed for the XL. Their AFS, their automated farm system, cards that video, because that video is pretty cool too, had it as well. And I don't think we noticed it, and Joe doesn't think anybody noticed it. So, hey, good on you. You got it past me, and I'd like to believe I'm a pretty good eye when it comes to looking at things. Then we get, to me, the belle of the ball here, the Nextruder. All right, this is a ground-up build from Prusa, and nearly 3 years to develop. That's pretty damn cool. It uses a load cell. We talked about this in the video, but it uses a load cell to deliver always perfect first layers. How many of you have struggled with first layers? Let's even go with different sheets having different first layer characteristics. I know I have, and based on our Print Fail Friday series, yeah, I'm not alone. A lot of you have this problem, and this printer will serve to solve that. having an analog load sensor will, instead of just a 1 or a 0, be able to give you lots of that feedback information that the processor can look at and say, more extrusion or less, to give you that crispy clean glass or textured first layer. And when I say glass, I don't mean a real piece of glass, but shiny, like it was printed on glass. This single piece heat sink is pretty darn cool too, and that's where the load cell is embedded, which is pretty crazy if you understand how load cells work, that they're integrating one into their heat sink. That's awesome. Now, understand, what we're hearing with all of this is that the entire extruder system is proprietary as of this moment. So on launch, you will likely have to buy real Prusa parts rather than going to somebody like E3D or pick your poison for shady Amazon sellers. But I would guess that it'll be a matter of time, unfortunately, but it's just the way the market works. And of course, with no need to live adjust and no need for manual calibrations, it just freaking works. Now, I do kind of like the live adjust. See, it is nice to be able to mess around with it if I am seeing some different variations in my bed. But as Joe said in Joel's video, you can set the probing points as many as you want. If you want 4, you can have 4. If you want 400, you can have 400. And well, if you're a mad lad, crank that baby up to 9001, because I'm sure you could do that.
It's over 9,000!
And I love their ability to utilize these load cells to detect nozzle jams and partial jams. That's very valuable for businesses. And I'd love, again, to have a feature where it will automatically switch, where we can say, hey, these two have the exact same color and exact same material. This is our backup hot end. If it needs it, switch to it. I would absolutely take a 4 tool changer and leave that 5th tool as a backup for my main. Basically, you need to feed 2 single kilos into it. And it would also be able to take over in the event that you run out of filament. Now, the MMU already can do that. You can set it up so when you run out of filament, it just goes to the next extruder. And that is pretty cool. I'd love to see something similar to that on this tool changer. Zero backlash cycloidal. I think it's cycloidal. Gearbox with, of course, a large no-slip drive gear. This is amazing. Cycloidal gears are known to be incredibly sturdy. They are commonly found in anything that needs to have insanely high torque, most notably fuel pumps, because, well, you need a lot of pressure in some very big fuel pumps, and cycloidals can also move a lot of volume. And yes, it is overkill. A 20-to-1 gearbox is crazy overkill, but you are just taking your torque and you're sending it through the nines. So let's be real. You're not going to run out of stepper motor for your extruder anytime soon. You're going to easily run out of filament strength before you run out of your extruder strength. We can also see the brand new electronics breakout board, which of course we showed a little bit earlier, and everything in this extruder connects directly to this board, and they send that single squid power cables back to the system, and I do really like that. However, again, it is a little rough. Those boards could be quite delicate. Now, I have faith in Prusa, but it is something that I'd be curious of, especially those connectors, how they will hold up over time. I know Prusa's going to do their homework, so I have faith, but I can't help but be a little bit concerned. Now, as we can see, the nozzle, which has been developed in cooperation with E3D, is embedded inside an entirely new assembly that allows you to easily pull the entire hot end with all metal parts out of the extruder. The nozzle is connected to a metal tube, which prevents various issues arising from insufficiently tightened nozzles. So no, you're not changing out your nozzle, which is a bummer. But yeah. At least it is just one Allen key. You can drop the entire system and plug a new one in. I guess I'm kind of bummed because this is a brand new system, which means it might be difficult if you want to get spare nozzles to be able to buy them on something like Amazon. No offense to Prusa, but they haven't had a great track record of keeping things in stock on Amazon. But I don't really blame them, right? Amazon's going to take part of the cut, which Prusa needs direly to grow their business into this crazy monstrosity of an awesome company that it has turned into. So that is something that does worry me, but if this is open source, I would bet that we could see some third-party adaptations coming out. And if we do, you can bet your sweet keister will be testing them up against the originals, because we just gotta. It's for the people. And of course, we have to mention the tool changer. You do not have to get the tool changer. But why wouldn't you? I understand that it's a fair bit extra. It's an extra $1,500 on top of the already somewhat high $2,000 base price. But understand here, this is not a Mark III or Mark 3S plus XYZ yada 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 with some little bit of, semi-chrome polish on it. This is a whole new platform that is designed to make 3D printing available to the masses, potentially through companies like 3D Musketeers, but still available to the masses. If you are a school, you better be amped about something like this, because this will make it so easy that an untrained student could viably operate this machine and do it effectively. Or an untrained faculty member, for that matter. And if you are a school and you are watching this, or you are a faculty member at a school and you would like to get some training on 3D printing, please reach out to us. Our email is right in the description of this video so that you can get some of that training. We offer training to educators totally for free. A lot of it's already here on the YouTube channel, but if you need very specific training, I'm happy to jump on a call with you and go all through lovely training so that you can make your 3D printing experience one that you enjoy. Before, of course, begging and pleading for a Prusa XL. And I love these motherboards. We can see what appears to be kind of like how a GPU would slot in. This too can slot in. It looks like, actually, that's a PCIe connector. It looks just like a PCIe connector. I'd bet dollars to donuts that's a PCIe connector, and they're just repurposing it because that makes a whole lot of sense. I would love that. Although this looks like that USB 3.0 header that nobody likes. But one thing to note, that, my dear friends, is an antenna, or an antenna mount. So this machine might even have built-in Wi-Fi. And I would guess that that is going to be a gigabit Ethernet port, considering that it is right near an antenna. I love that. And it looks like, yeah, some sort of a fusible link. And of course, we got some fuses over here as well. That way, if your idiot brain happens to blow something, it's got your back covered by fuses. I dig this. I really do. And yes, it is a long way away. I like that they're including VAT for those of you that are in the European Union. And for those of you that are in the UK, or Canada for that matter, best of luck. Do understand, this printer is going to be expensive. We don't know what the final price, because this is targeting prices. This is not a guarantee. The pricing could change. And even further, we don't know what shipping is going to cost. Remember, Prusa does offer a fully assembled version for $500 more. And honestly, that's not that bad. I know for us, we're content creators, and I love building their printers, so I'll probably just build it. I wonder how big of a bag of gummy bears this one will come with. That's the real question. How big of a bag of gummy bears will this come with? Joe, if you're watching this video, I want to know, are we getting a 5-pound bag of Haribo with this, or are we getting a 3-pound bag, or excuse me, are we getting a kilo bag of Haribo? Because this build might be a little more complicated than one of the Mark III builds, because I've gotten the Mark IIIs down to about 6.5 hours where I can build them myself, but the average user will take about 11 hours to do it their first time. I can tell you, as soon as I saw my entire phone blowing up at 7:30 in the morning, because they announced it about 6:30 a.m. Eastern time on Thursday, but as soon as I woke up, I grabbed my laptop in bed, quickly went through and bought it, so much so that I forgot to log into my Prusa Printers account, and it's going to take a couple of days until that thing adds up. But I can tell you, based on everybody else that I know and their order times, we can easily count at least 15,000 individual orders, because from what we can tell, these are sequential order numbers. So we can count 15,000 orders in between the earliest and the latest. and I would bet a non-trivial amount of money. My staff loves when I say non-trivial. But I would bet a large sum of money that the vast majority of that was, in fact, Prusa XL pre-orders. And again, it's fully refundable. So if you decide you don't want it later on in the future, that's okay. You're allowed to say no. Guys, there is so much here, all right? We're gonna link to all of this in the description. We have a Prusa affiliate code, so if you still want to get one of these and you haven't yet, please go use our affiliate code so you can go take a look. I love the Prusa XL. I am so freaking excited, and I have to admit this is not my first take of this video. I have two others that will never make it off my computer. Actually, they've already been deleted, because I don't want this to be me yelling at my computer about how freaking excited I am. It's actually why we opted to wait to do this video until Monday, rather than doing it quickly and getting it out the next day. I hope you guys really did enjoy this kind of deep dive look at the Prusa XL and my opinions as not just a hobbyist in this industry, but also a business owner. Do stay safe out there, guys. In the United States, we got Thanksgiving coming up this week, so please do not forget to call your loved ones. And as always, keep making awesome. Leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this XL. Have a good one. You know your boy went with the 5, because if you're going to do it, lay down the money. Let's go. Because cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar bills, yo. That's the outro. Why do I do this? Hey, thanks so much for watching this video, and an especially massive thank you goes out to all of our patrons whose names are listed right next to me. Thank you guys for everything that you do to help support this channel. And if you want to support this channel, you too can do so at patreon.com/3D Musketeers, where we have tiers starting as low as $1, and the $5 tier or higher gets your name right in these credits. And you get to see these videos with a little bit of extra time in them, because we cut some things out to hit some numbers on YouTube. Right below me is going to be the Prusa Automated Farm Systems video. If you haven't looked at their AFS yet, go take a look at that video and see my opinion on that too. If you like this one, you're going to like that one. And directly next to it is going to be the Prusa maintenance video. So if you've got a Prusa printer and it might be acting a fool, you can go take care of it right there. I will see you guys down in those comments. I am so excited to hear your thoughts and opinions on all of this, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.